Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some more of the Bitcoin stocks that are currently in play. Okay, we're going to take a look at RIOT. Yeah, that the run it has continued. It's been one heck of an epic run. Let's take a look at the charts here. So closed up another 47% today. So congrats everyone. This has been a really nice move. RSI now is at 91. Notice how it's pushing above the peak on the prior run. So it is at very frothy levels. And then over here you have Fasto at 97. So they're both signaling temporarily overbought. The share price is currently trading below 23 in after hours trading, so it is showing some signs of weakness. Which MARA on the other hand, it's pushing. It's been pushing higher after hours, and so you want to see that strength continue. So that is a little bit of a red flag, the weakness after hours. And if you look on the chart here, there is a gap on the chart between a high of day yesterday and low of day today. And so so if the share price does pull back, look for potential gap fill. And so a drop down to 16 would fill the gap. The share price could pull back all the way to 16, hold EMA for support, fill the gap, and still be a super strong chart. I mean, the candles have been pushing very hard. As you can see here, there's 7 green volume bars in a row. The volume's been increasing on the way up. Huge volume here today. And so if the share price does pull back, you want to see EMA 4 hold. If it drops below EMA 8 at 1343, will be the next key support level. Notice the breakout was after the close above the closing price on the 23rd. This candle here on the 20th, this signaled the breakout higher. So really sweet move. We're going to see if it can continue. When a stock is breaking out, notice how it has the super parabolic MACD going now. It's getting the MACD line's getting very steep. That starts to signal an unsustainable run. It can't keep pushing at that rate for an extended period of time. And so now we're looking for what's the next key resistance levels. If you look here, on RSI, it's up at 92, this on the weekly chart here, and so it's hitting a prior peak level. And then you have Fasto at 98. This is where it's topped out in the past. And then you have this vertical spike on plus DI, and notice the previous vertical spikes were followed by pullbacks. So so you have the these spikes here, and then and so when it really starts getting vertical like this, many times you'll get a little bit of a cool down. So we'll see what's going to happen if it can keep pushing higher. When you look at the key resistance level to break this week, once it got above this 14 level that we talked about in the earlier chart, and then we were looking at 17, that was this June 2014 level, and then above that was 23, which was the high close from back here in March of 2014. And as you can see here, the close this week was above that level. So that was a super strong close. Now you want to see the share price stay above 23. If it can stay above 23, the next target's going to be 28. So 28 was the high from back here in March of 2014. And so as you can see, the share price pulled all the way back, made a bottom in 2016, and now it's filled the jar all the way back up to 23 at this point, and 28 would be the very top here of this pattern. Going forward next week, if it pulls below 23, as right now, currently in after hours trading, it is below 23. That could signal that it wants to consolidate, and if that happens, you have EMA 4 way down here at 1392. The upper Bollinger Band is right here at 1486. So this is a close well above the upper Bollinger Band. Sometimes the candles will work back into the bands, and the chart would still remain very bullish. It just might take a pause, similar to what happened back here in October. So we'll just see how hard this can keep pushing. There's been nearly 50 million shares traded this week. I mean, it was huge money flow, giant move. Congrats, everyone. This is a great move. The chart's, very strong, very bullish. It's just a little frothy here. So keep an eye on the 15-minute chart. This will signal when the chart is breaking down, when the stock's starting to cool off. And as you can see here, we were looking for this break above the high close here on the 21st to signal more upside. That happened on Wednesday, the close above. The run continued. Notice how it held middle Bollinger Band support, and then there was the big gap today. So the the big gap up open has created this space on the chart, and so if the share price does pull back, a gap fill many times, like if that did happen and it pulled back and it tested this and it filled the gap, that would many times be a catalyst for a technical bounce, and the gap fill becomes the reload level for a trade off of that. So keep that in mind. Notice how the bottom of the gap here is lined up with the 50 simple moving average currently at 1542, which is also rising, and so the bottom of the gap level is not going to change, but the 50 simple moving average will. That's the green line here. If the share price does cool down and it pulls back, if the middle Bollinger Band here is the big level to hold. It's currently at 1920. If it drops below this dotted purple line, it would likely come down to test that 50 simple moving average and fill the gap. So watch the 15-minute chart. If it closes below the EMA4, notice this pink line held the entire day today. That's your first clue that it's starting to cool down and it might test that middle Bollinger Band at 2289. And after hours trading, it is flirting with dropping below that EMA4 level. So yeah, so RIOT is on an epic run, and we're going to see if it can push to 28. Okay, let's look at BTSC. Okay, this closed up 46%. This has been on a huge run. We looked at, don't confuse it with the last video where it was BTCS. Okay, this is a different stock. It had already been running for multiple days. It closed up hitting 90 on RSI. So it is at frothy levels on RSI and Fasto being at 90. It's pushing hard on ADX. So this is similar to RIOT, where it's just been pushing hard and it's keeps breaking resistance, but we're just looking for the sign that it's cooling down. This had a gap as well, a gap up open, so that's going to be another red flag, another level that the share price could possibly pull back to if it does cool down. I'll just make the green lines here. So in between these two candles here, there's a gap between high of day yesterday and low of day today. So a drop down here to about 16.5 would fill the gap. It's currently pushing hard. Notice how the candles once again have been riding EMA4 support ever since the 13th of November. And so this big push above the upper Bollinger Band could be that frothy move forward where it might cool down for a minute. We'll have to see if it's going to keep pushing higher. If it does pull back, EMA4 here at 18 will be that first support level to hold. You'd be looking for the gap to fill, and then that would be a catalyst for a bounce, and then for a push higher. Similar to you'd want to see a similar move to the last time that it took a little breather. This setup here. Once it pulls back, if you see a red candle start to form on Monday, then be shooting for that gap fill. If it pulls back, fills the gap, holds support, then the uptrend could continue. If you look down here at all the green candles, volume bars in a row, it's been on one heck of a run. So we're just looking now to see, it's hitting frothy levels. It doesn't mean the chart's broken or it's a piece of junk or anything like that. It just might take a breather. If it starts to cool down, you want to watch the 15-minute chart. If you notice here, it busted above the key resistance levels. Yesterday, it closed above August high close. That signaled more upside, and it had closed above this June high close resistance level. That was the double top level. And then we were looking for a break above 17. That happened today, and with that gap up open. And then the other key was the high from June, which was up here at 21, and it closed above that level as well. So yeah, so we'll see if this can keep pushing higher. If you look at the monthly chart here, you can see where this looks like it's eventually headed. It looks like it's headed back to dollar land. So dollar land is back here on this 2006 high resistance level. It looks like it's working its way back up there. It's currently hitting the support levels from 2007. So it's gonna have to work its way through that. But it has a nice uptrend going. It bounced down here and continued the strong uptrend. Notice the huge volume behind the move. So be sure to watch the 15-minute chart. Similar to the RIOT chart. For BTSC. Once you see the chart break down and the candles drop below the middle Bollinger Band, that'll be a signal that the chart has cooled down. And so look at MGTI. This This is another one that we had alerted. It did finally take off today, closed up 35%. Notice that RSI now is above 50 and in the bull zone there at 59. Fasto did close at 97. The share price closed near high of day today. There was a bullish crossover on ADX. Notice how it's just getting started. The green line just crossed above the red line for the first time in many weeks. The last crossover was back here. It didn't stay above. So we want to see if it can push ahead. If you notice, and the reason why I say that is if you look back here in August, when the August run happened, notice how the green line crossed above the red line and then it stayed above, and that was during the entire run. So that's just a sign that this, that'll be a signal that the chart is still strong if that green line can stay above the red line. And so the big move today was the break above multiple resistance levels. Notice yesterday the close was below, EMA 4, and so it still hadn't even broken above EMA 4. We were looking for a bounce. It had been forming this falling wedge pattern. You have the descending support and descending resistance. One was going to break. It was either going to be a break above resistance or a break below support. And we were saying if it broke below support there, that this 140 zone was going to be a key level. It would most likely bounce off of that because it's the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages. It did not drop below. It got running today, and then it broke above EMA's 4, 8, and 13, and then it broke above the middle Bollinger Band, the dotted purple line, and above the 50 or the 100-day simple moving average here at 201, and the 50-day simple moving average at 223, the green line. So the 50-day simple moving average at 220 is the key level to turn into support. If the candles can stay above that green line, that's going to signal more upside potential. There was also a bullish close above this red descending resistance line. So this was a multi-month trend that has been broken today to the upside, and so that does signal more upside potential. You want to see it stay above $2 now. You want to see it stay above that green line. If it pulls back, it needs to hold that middle Bollinger Band to get a new uptrend going. It's been in a downtrend, and it's been failing to get a new uptrend going. The signal that it has started will be candles staying above that green line. Notice that there was a PSAR bull flip. The green dots are below the candles, and then check out the volume spike today. Notice the big volume behind the move. That's what you always want to see when a stock is heating up and breaking resistance. Volume gives conviction behind the move, so it's signaling more upside. And then if you look down here at MACD, you can see where it's just starting to cross over on both time frames. So it's just starting out. It's just heating up. So this is a signal of the possible start of a new uptrend. It all depends on whether or not it can turn the middle Bollinger Band and 50-day simple moving average into support. If you look here at the weekly chart for MGTI, you can see here it closed above the middle Bollinger Band, the dotted purple line, and the 300-week moving average. And so the close above both levels, above this 207 level, is very bullish. So if it can stay above $2, like in the same thing it was showing in the daily chart, then that's going to signal a possible start of a new uptrend. And then we could see it work its way back up to the $4 range here, the top of the lid here. See what it's looking like now is like this is a cup, and then now a handle's forming. So it looks like a cup and handle formation with the high here from July being the lid, the top of the jar, the neckline of the cup and handle pattern. And so if it can break above that 420, 430 resistance zone, that's going to be your signal that it's ready to head higher. So it looks like it's working its way back to that direction. So yeah, so really nice move for MGTI this week. This was the bounce we were looking for. Yeah, we're going to see if it can follow through next week. So yeah, congrats everyone. This is a great way to end the holiday shortened trading week. Thanks for viewing this video. Please subscribe to the mychartcoach.com YouTube channel and check us out in our new chat. I'll put the link below the video. Thank you.